How's it going, people? Welcome back to the channel and welcome to another video on my 1997 Mazda MX-5. Yes, if you saw my last video, I did carbon fiber door cards. Like the top bit was carbon fiber, the bottom bit was Alcantara or fake Alcantara. Today I'm doing part 2 of that video, which is I am swapping on these lovely dashboard sort of bumpers, I think they're called, like dashboard bumpers or whatever, and also the tombstone as well. If you weren't already aware, these parts come from CarbonMiata. I bought them from topmiata.com or something like that. I can't really remember at this point. They're relatively expensive. They're in gloss carbon fiber, obviously, as you can see, and I have absolutely no idea if I'm competent enough to do this job, so hopefully I don't break anything today. Anyway, remember to like, comment, subscribe, all that great stuff. Without further ado, let's get into the video. Right, so if we jump into the car then, as you can see here already, this is that carbon fiber top section on the door and that nice Alcantara style door code, which definitely needs a suede brush on it. And I've also obviously got this carbon fiber steering wheel as well, which is very nice. But the bits that we're going to be replacing today are here, there, and also obviously this tombstone as well, as it is so called. Now, from what I understand, I need to remove the gauge cluster, so this bit here, just get rid of this. Get rid of the center console as well, so I need to take out these bolts here and some stuff inside there, remove that tombstone, pull these bits off of the car as well, and then put it all back into place as well. And I think I also need to remove all of these vents as well. Mate, I've done none of this before. So let's learn exactly how to do this together, I suppose. Step 1 is removing those vents. So in order to do this, I use a trick that I learned from OMG Miata on Instagram, which is basically where you take a cable tie, quite a long one, and then pinch it about 2/3 of the way down, feed it through the vent so that it comes out the other side. And once it's popped out, you then tie it back together and basically pull it out as if it's going to actually break the vent. It generally feels quite sketchy, but it really doesn't break. And now that I've got those out, I need to remove the bolt from here and from behind here, like so. And there are also some bolts up in here as well that I need to remove in order to take off all of this bit, take off all of this bit, etc. So yes, remove those 2 screws from the side, and then there are further 2 screws that need to come out that are sitting where the vents are in the tombstone that you should have just removed. I also need to remove my absolutely lovely gear stick. All good, just screws off like so. There is also a heavily sort of oxidized or rusted bolt in there, and also 2 more here that I need to remove. So now that's all done, this should all just kind of lift out of place, as you can see right there. Not bad at all, it all just lifted out nice and easily. Now I'm not removing it entirely, I'm just doing it so that I can get to this bolt here, which you can probably just about see, so this one right here, and there's another one on the other side as well, so I'm just going to remove those right about now. So it turns out there was only one on this side, there wasn't one on the other side. I thought there was one on both, my bad. Now I should be able to just remove this front section here, although as you might be able to just about see, I still have the radio in there. So now it's time to remove the radio. If I pull that out of the way, I need to basically get all of this section out so that it can go into the next tombstone. I also need to get rid of this as well somehow. All of this needs to go into the next tombstone, so I need to work this out as I kind of go. So 1 clip to remove here on the back, and there are a couple underneath as well down here. I just also pulled the 2 back cables out of the radio. I annoyingly have an alarm on this car, which means that I can't actually get everything out, but I can get enough out that I can now remove this through the front. Obviously I have an aftermarket radio, so this may not be the same if you have a standard radio in there, but either way, just try not to brutalize it too much. I needed all of these pieces in order to go into the next tombstone, so I had to be quite careful with all the tabs. Need to save all of that, and I also need to try and save this bit here too if I possibly can. Oh yes, 4 bolts on the back. Pretty simple, remove those 4 screws. Perfect, look at that. Stunning. So take a look at that, that is the entire tombstone out of the car. I do need to take these off still though, because these need to go into my new tombstone. Fortunately, it looks like that's literally just 2 bolts there and there. And exactly that. So this will go into the new tombstone or whatever. You can see that that entire tombstone section is gone. I've still got this vent in here because it just simply wouldn't come out. I think it might have been stuck in there differently at some point. You see someone's put some extra felt in behind it to stop it from swiveling around. So I think this one might have been played with before. Not coming out easily, but I'll get it out for sure. I'll try and take this off first. I now need to take the cluster or the cluster guard off so that I can then access the back section of this. But since I don't want to lose this or any of the bolts related to it, I'm going to just do this now. Okay, very slight problem. As you can see, they work perfectly. Hazard is stuck on, sadly, so I might have to slightly shave off the edge of this hole here so that it fits through flush. Literally just used a circular file in order to file away some of that carbon fiber. Have to be careful so that you don't split it, obviously. And after much grinding away, it is now working, so all good. Nice. So now there are 2 screws under here that need to be removed, and I have no idea which ones. Oh, they are this one here, and there's one around the other side as well. And now this needs to come out. Wow. I think I've just gotten very lucky there, boys. Oh my gosh, I've gotten so lucky there. So you're supposed to take this, the gauge pod off, obviously, which is what I've just done. I'm not taking it all the way off because I don't need to. I should obviously be thinking about removing this bit and whatever, but I'm just taking this bit so that I can get in and pull these off. Now, one thing everyone breaks is the clips on the back of these. So that clip there's two clips in the back here and one over here as well. Somehow, by pure luck or chance, I have managed to remove that without breaking any of those clips. So very blessed today. Now I literally just want to pull these off. Super easy. Bit of glue and whatever, it just pops off like that. Whew, that was much easier than I'd hoped it was going to be. Or expected it to be. That was as easy as I hoped it should be and easier than I expected it to be, if that makes any sense. Now let's do the same to the other side. Now this bit was really annoying because this is the one bit of the process that I haven't seen anyone else do on YouTube, but actually removing this whole section of the pod was actually much easier than I expected. My SD card ran out of space, so it just missed me doing it, but honestly I explained how to do it and it is relatively simple. Oh mate, I'm so annoyed. I've just pulled all of this section off, so this right here has just been pulled off from there, and I didn't get on camera because my camera ran out of space on the old memory card. However, I will show you how I did it. I simply got a flathead screwdriver, put it in on that side over there, like nice and inside, and just pulled it off, just a little bit of leverage. Did the same over here, got a bit of leverage, grabbed in behind with my fingers on each side, and then just pulled the whole thing off from these tabs. And again, I've been super blessed because only one of them I think is broken, which is this one here. All the other ones are in place, and I'm pretty sure that one was broken in the first place, so I can't find the actual plastic bit for it. This was honestly the part of this job that I was most scared about doing. I thought this was never going to come off. Now that it has come off, I'm feeling much better. And as I was sitting there, Amazon got involved and brought me the package of glue that I was going to use to help glue the next bit on if it needed it. And that's because all of this stuff here is just like a nice sort of silicone adhesive style thing, which has helped it all stay in place. And I don't want my bit to rattle or anything, so I'm going to do the same with my carbon fiber. So now I do believe we're in a space where we can start putting this all back together. So we're going to do the same steps but backwards in order to get this all back into place. So let's first of all give this a go with no glue. It has all the tabs on the back of this, by the way, just so that you're aware. All of these little bits here are to help it stick on. So if I'm very lucky, this will go on with no problems. I mean, it fits into the space nicely, but I don't think it's caught on any of the tabs at all. So if you watched my last video where I did the CarbonMiata stuff, the one thing they didn't give me was fittings, but one they did give me was this 3M tape, double-sided. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna give this a go at taping up some of these little edges here, and then hopefully, my thought process is, this will stick to both the car and this. So let's see if this works. Now, will this work how I want it to? I'm not sure. Doesn't feel like it so far. Okay, so I feel like we're 80% there. Just need to probably do some glue on the bottom section, and then we'll be on it correctly. This was just a case of popping in that top section, and then once the top was popped in, I glued that bottom bit and it stayed very nicely in place. No movement, no rattling, nothing. See if we can get this back in as well. You can literally just push the vents back into place. It's super easy as long as you line up the little tabs on the back. Now, just so we get this straight, the 3M tape was actually rubbish. So I'm going to use spray on glue instead, which is this stuff right here. So again, in this case, I just used spray on glue. I didn't use any 3M tape, and it actually just worked easier, if I'm honest. Nice. And then once that was in, again, it was a case of pushing that vent into place. Perfect. Let's put the dashboard gauge back on. Mate, I feel like I've gotten so lucky with that because I've seen so many people break those and somehow I've gotten away with it. I'll certainly take it. Just make the assumption that when you're doing it, it's not going to be that easy. I'm not saying that to gas myself up, I'm saying that to gas up how lucky I've been. Now we have to reassemble the tombstone. So if I remember correctly, oh, that's really annoying. This hasn't got bolt holes, so I'm going to have to stick that on there somehow. So that's going to stick onto there anyway, whatever happens. So yes, basically I couldn't screw in that section that does the wing mirrors and alarm into the tombstone because it wasn't the right size. It was slightly too tight for it. So instead I just tried to put in the radio instead. Similarly, it was way too tight, so I had to force it in there. And then I was going to have a different solution for that bottom section instead. Right, so this isn't quite the right size. It's a little bit tight, so I've squeezed the radio in there through, again, sheer brute force. Only way that I was able to get it in there. And now I need to try and fit this in, which also doesn't fit. So this is going to be an interesting conundrum, I feel. It is the day after, and we have a very slight problem. So I want to put everything back in today. Obviously, we've got that in, we've got that in. Now I want to get the tombstone in, and then that's basically the whole job finished. Only problem is I had to really squeeze this radio in, like that was not going in at all easily. And this bit here, this bit that controls the wing mirrors and whatever, that literally will not fit in. I cannot make it fit into this unless I grind all of this away. And you can see already I've got a little bit of damage right here, and I don't really want to damage it anymore. So thought process now is I'm going to try and stick this actually in place in there instead, so that will stay like that, so it'll be slightly sunken in. I don't think it'll be really that noticeable, and I'm going to try and fix this damage here as well. And my thought process is that gaffer tape fixes absolutely everything, or all of the world's problems. So hopefully this is in the right spot, but it's pretty well on there and it's staying pretty nicely. Now there is only one real problem I'm spotting with this, and that is that there is none of the mounting points here up top, and the bolt hole down here, or the screw hole down here, also doesn't exist. So it's only going to be held on from the sides from what I understand, but now we're in a place to literally just plug in everything for the radio, hope it works when I put it all back together, put this all back in, and hopefully just now it's reassembly. So nice and easy now, just retracing steps, put the tombstone in, making sure that you've clipped in everything at the back, all the different lights and whatever. Then it's a case of putting it into place, screwing it on with that center console section, screwing on the gear stick, and also putting in the additional screws that needed to go into the center console as well, so that it all sits in place. That's basically job done, I think. I think everything's back in place. So I've just switched the car on. Check out that. I'm so pleased with this. I can't believe it's gone so well. Hazard lights go on nice and easy and they turn off. That works nice and easy and it turns off. You can see the radio is on. This is all working. Like, I could probably move it around if I wanted to. I'm not going to bother right now. Oh, mate, let's close this door up. Check this out, mate. The carbon fiber obviously there, across there, on the steering wheel as well now, and obviously on this side bit here with the Alcantara down below. This is looking mad. I'm so happy with how this has turned out. The only thing that I don't like is this. I think that now that that's carbon fiber, I think this needs to be carbon fiber too. I was gonna wrap it in Alcantara, but I actually think it would just look better if it was in carbon fiber. So maybe I'll wrap it carbon fiber, because I can't find these online anywhere. If anyone knows of carbon fiber center consoles, I would definitely be interested in buying one. Otherwise, as I say, I will just remove this again and wrap it. Now that I know it's a relatively simple thing to do, yes, this needs to be carbon fiber to match the rest of this interior. So let's roll the montage. Well, honestly though, I thought it was going to be a lot harder than it really is. The only bit that was really scaring me was putting this bit on, and this has worked absolutely fine. As you can see, it's all nice and in place. That one works nice and easily too. All of this I thought was going to be quite difficult, and it really wasn't. You don't need to remove the entire dashboard, which is what I thought you might have to do. You don't have to really worry too much about breaking things, or at least in my case, I kind of got away with it. I don't know how, maybe I was just lucky. And yeah, this is unreal. I'm very happy, if you hadn't already noticed. Still got more parts to put onto this. I've got the brakes to do, I've got a whole bunch of other stuff as well, and then we need to start looking at sort of the finer details, the smaller parts. What would we think about maybe wrapping the dashboard in Alcantara as well, and maybe maybe I need to get the carbon fiber hood gauge now as well. I think this needs to be carbon fiber, doesn't it? Anyway, very happy with all of this. Massive thank you to the patrons for taking to support, and to you guys as well for watching. I hope this helped you guys, and I will see you in the next one. Listen.